Okay, friends, we're gonna go ahead and get started here. This is what Lightburn looks like when you enter in. So I'm just gonna give you a brief overview of what it looks like. Again, this is actually not for my, as you can see, or actually I'll show you here. If you go down to devices, it tells you what device you have available. My Omtech is not installed on my Mac for whatever reason. So I have an old laser that is kind of like the opposite orientation of the Omtech, but this gives you a rough idea. So we're going to go through some basic functions that everyone needs to know, starting with file. File, import. This is what I do to bring in a file that I'm going to cut. You can buy files on Etsy if you don't want to make your own files, and this is a very important option. You can either open a file or import a file. I prefer to import because I find that it keeps the cut settings that are already saved with the file, where open will not have any settings or any settings imported. Today I'm just going to show you a couple of basic functions, and then I'm going to teach you how to make your own file. So those are important ones. Staying with file, you're also going to need to learn how to export when you're done and you want to save your files. You want to make sure to export your file. So I'll show you more about that later. Okay, let's get started. We're going to go ahead and draw a simple little shape here. Why don't we make a keychain? So we're going to select the circle here and make a circle. Boom. Now we're going to select our little selection tool. Otherwise, you will keep making circles. And here's what we have. And then this shows us the dimensions, how big it is. Super important to check so that you're not like surprised in the future when you cut it and it's massive or small. So anyway, here we go. So I'm going to do 2 and press enter. And because I made kind of an oval, as you can see, it's this is locked. So you can unlock this. So I'm going to make it 2 as well. And then relock my shape. So now it's going to grow proportionally. So it's going to stay a perfect circle. So that's great. Then we're going to go ahead and add some text to our, let's say, keychain here. So I'm going to select the A button, and that's it. I can start typing. I'm going to do my name, which is Dani. Let's do shorthand for my name. We're going to select Dani and put it in the middle, and it kind of fits perfectly. So we're going to leave it like that. As you can see right now, this has introduced over here in our cut layers, it has introduced the shape, and it has introduced, this is the assigned color, 0, 0. And over here, there's 3 options when laser cutting. You can do line, which means that it will cut a line. You can do fill, which is essentially engraving, or you can do offset fill, which honestly, I've never used, so. Let's do line for the circle because we are going to cut that circle. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and select that, command copy, command paste. So copy paste, and we're going to make a little circle for our keychain because obviously we're going to want to hang this somewhere. So that's a little circle that I made. And I'm going to select that circle and the other circle, and I'm going to show you this tool here. If I press the center, that would put it like that. Okay, so we don't want that. So let's undo that. But I also have the option here to do align horizontal center, which is what I'm going to do. Oh, no, that's not what we're going to do. Vertical center. All right, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. So that means these 2 circles are centered. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead. Actually, let's just leave it like that. Fine. No, whatever. Let's not do that. Okay. I'm going to select the Dani now, and I'm going to put this as a different color. Let's do blue because Dani, I actually want to engrave. Okay. So line, this is, we're going to cut this out, and then this we're going to engrave. And then this is the order in which your machine is going to do these operations. So first it would cut, and then it would engrave. I'm going to do the opposite because I want to engrave and then cut. Otherwise, sometimes your shape will kind of fall down, and then your focus height could be off. So I like to do engrave first and then cut. That is good. We're going to keep the Dani as is because, again, this is just experimental. And these are the settings for my diode laser. So these are not accurate Omtech settings. For my Omtech, I actually use a different computer, obviously, because I don't have it here. But so everything's a little bit off. But let's say for the line, I'm going to do 300 as my speed. The faster something goes, the less deep it is and the lighter it is. So let's say 300, we want it to be fast. And then power, let's just do 40. Okay, we don't need it to be that like powerful. So we're going to do that. And then for my line, I'm going to do the settings that I would do on my Omtech, even though these would not work on my diode laser. Speed is 10 and power is 55. Okay, that's what I would do for my Omtech. And then you get to this part. So this is my little file. You can kind of go like this to select all of it. You can also right click and group it so that it is now one file. If I didn't do that, let's ungroup it. If I try to pick it up, okay, then, okay, if I try and pick it up, see how like that's not connected? We don't want that to happen. So once your final is fully designed, you're gonna go ahead and right click, group it. And then I like to cut in the top right corner. Why? I don't know, but that's just where I like to cut. Again, this is the opposite direction because it's not the right laser. So I'm gonna show you this here, and then I'm gonna show you like a video of me actually doing it. This is just the Lightburn overview. Okay, so right corner up here, and then I'm gonna show you this. This is a preview of how long it's gonna take. It would take this laser, this is why I don't have this laser anymore. It would take this laser 37 minutes to do this job, you guys. And it kind of shows you how it would do it. So it's, you know, oh, here it is. It shows you how it would do it. So first we engrave. The engraving, as you can see, takes 28 minutes, and then the cutting takes like a minute. So, you know, this is why it's important to think about what kind of jobs you need and what kind of laser you need, because obviously this would be atrocious. Nobody wants to watch their laser for 30 minutes to get one keychain out of this. Okay, but that is an important function to have. And then that's it. So then usually what I would do is I would select this and I would frame it just to move with my actual laser connected. But you know what? For the sake of this, I'm gonna move this tutorial over. This just shows you how to make a file. Now we're gonna save this file and export it, and I will show you how to actually import this into your laser cutter. So I'm gonna go to File, and I'm going to export, and this is gonna show you those important settings to keep in mind. I want SVG, not any other files. I wanna save it as an SVG. I'm gonna say Vani keychain example, save it, and stay tuned for part 2, where we actually import this file into my Omtech, and I show you how to focus your laser and how to cut it. So thanks for tuning along, and keep watching so that I can show you more tips and tricks for Lightburn. Let me know if you have any questions so far in the comments.